Hello, I am back and only a few days later. So I have obviously changed where I'm filming. If you see the massive thing behind me, that is a zucchini. I am in my grandmother's garden. So you can hear a different array of birds who are very pleasantly enjoying the morning with me. We've got some magpies over there. She has tamed a few of them. They come up regularly to be fed. So if you see any arrive, I will be running inside because I don't have any food and I'm scared that they will realize that I am not her and attack. Other than that, I'm enjoying the beautiful morning here in Australia. I have got my knitting with me. This is going to be a musselburgh hat. I'm using anyways, I'll talk about that at a later date, but I am going to be knitting while I talk to you about what is on my Make 9 for 2025. It is March, so you may be confused as to why I'm filming a Make 9 3 months into the year, but that is because there are 9 months left of the year, which means Make 9 in 9 months. If you can make a baby in 9 months, I think I can finish 9 knitted garments. Fingers are crossed, because I think I have bitten off a lot to chew considering that it is mainly sweaters. But what am I if not ambitious? Perhaps the magpies will be too loud with their song, but I think it'll just add to the video. Hopefully. So I have just been, I'm trying to set up my knitting to be able to knit while I'm talking about these things, but I've had very unfortunate centre pull experience. If you know, you know. And this may just need to quickly get resolved, so, ooh la 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 la. Okay, if you could just bear with me momentarily while I try not to cry. Oh my god. Well, that was unfortunate. Great. I think that what I've learned is that I'm never centre pulling from a Zauber ball again, because it's historically never worked in my favour, but I always try it because they come in such a nice little ball, you know? Like, this is the edition, it's the lace one. It's got 800 meters per ball, which, yeah, okay. This is just turning out catastrophically. So, yep, okay. We're making sacrifices. Anyways, that is not what we're talking about today. So, I'm going to be knitting on this, talking you through this, where I've written my Make 9 for 2025. And yeah, I'm going to smash out 9 knitted garments, 8 knitted garments and 1 accessory this year to complete my Make 9. And yeah, I've had a lot of fun watching over everyone's plans for the upcoming year, because I feel that my year doesn't really start until around this time. I mean, like, uni goes back, everything's kind of ramping up for the year. January and February, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm wading through the year and feeling like it's still November. March feels like January for me. And then, which therefore means it's a nothing month. And then April feels like I need to get stuff started. So therefore I've decided this is a good time to start my Make 9. And I've not started any of the things on this list. So this will be a true Make 9 in 9 months. Don't know if I'll be able to complete all of them. I can definitely complete half of them and start the other half. So we'll see. I've got a cup of coffee today in a nice mug. It is liqourice. It's not mine, it is my grandmother's. As I mentioned, I am here, so I am taking advantage of the nice mugs. So, without further ado, let's get into it. So, there are 9 items on this list. I will attempt to insert nice, pretty pictures and do some cool things. I am currently editing on Microsoft Clipchamp, so there are some dire stakes at the moment. If anyone has recommendations for better editing software to make things very aesthetic, because at the moment we're not dealing with, you know, well, we're dealing with Microsoft Clipchamp. So I am hoping for something free that I can edit things with to make a little bit nicer, but at the end of the day it is just going to be long form content with very minimal editing, so it's not really important. Oh, I'm wearing camisole number 5 by My Favorite Things Knitwear, which I knit in Knitting for Olive Merino 2.5 years ago now, maybe. It is the color Bordeaux, and I have not depilled this in a while and I think it needs it, but it's just a very nice calm one for today. It is going to get up to 30 degrees today, so I will change probably, but in the morning at the moment it's nice. I digress. So I have got 4 patterns on here, 4 that I will most likely not use a pattern for, and 1 that the pattern is undecided. So let's start off with what I have a pattern for. And the first one that we are starting off with is a gift knit, and very pertinent. I'm at my grandmother's. It is for her. It is a gift knit for her that I have had the yarn in stash now for a few months, but I have put off doing because it's been summer. So now I've really got no excuses because it is ramping up into winter. So I knit the cardigan by petiteknit last year in the Sunless Garn Pure Gynt Marzipan Tutti Frutti. That was a mouthful. So I knitted for myself. I brought it to her to show it off, and she loves it, and she asked me to knit her the exact same one. And she is my grandmother, she is my sun and my joy in my life. She is amazing, so of course I said yes. So I ordered the yarn. It sat in my stash for the last half of last year, and yeah, I have not started it yet. I want to start it. Her birthday is in June, so I want to get that done before June, and I think it works out very well to knit it now to have it ready in June, because if I knit it for her as a Christmas gift, it doesn't make sense. Australia is obviously in the southern hemisphere, so our summer is hot. It was over 30 degrees on Christmas Day this year, or last year rather. So yeah, Christmas gifts being knitted doesn't really make sense. So instead I'm going to cast it on very soon. I'm going to knit it and have it ready by her birthday. That is the one of the make nines that if I don't do it this year, I'm going to it just needs to be done this year. So I figure if I'm starting off strong with only 1 gift knit that I'm telling myself I have to do this year, then it'll be very manageable. And also I've knit a few things for my grandmother before, and she really, really appreciates them, and she really deserves them. So I feel like just 1 cardigan that I have to do this year as a gift knit, it's manageable. And I have put it off also because it is knit the exact same cardigan in the exact same yarn, and that it's a bit of a drag because it's a lot of back and forth in stockinette. Usually that's not really a problem for me. It's just the fact that I do not have the correct cable size. I always knit on fixed circulars, and I had so many stitches cramped up onto an 80cm cable to do the body of that cardigan and the ribbing, and it was not enjoyable. So I just need to invest in a 100cm cable with on 4mm needles to make it a much more enjoyable knitting experience, so that I'm not having to fight the stitches from jumping off the needle with every stitch. It was just, no wonder I put it off for so long. So I think that once I get that cable, there will be no stopping me. I will be unstoppable, and that will translate into all of my other projects, hopefully. So yeah, that is one that I'm wanting to cast on and get done very soon. And I think that it is doable. So we're starting off strong with an achievable goal with a deadline, which I think is a very good way to do it, to give myself at least 1 deadline to really feel motivated. Hopefully it's motivation and not anxiety, but we will see. What is next? Okay, so the next one, I have seen so many people make this, and for such a good reason. It's got over 6,000 projects on Ravelry. And I am talking about, of course, the step-by-step sweater by Florence Miller of Handmade by Florence. This is such a beautiful basic pattern, and it is free on Ravelry. It is incredibly popular. The YouTube video for this pattern, because it's a free pattern on Ravelry and you can also watch the free YouTube tutorial, which is amazing, it has over 1 million views, which I don't know about you guys, but I think that within the knitting community that's insane, because I know that like knitting has gotten really popular over the past while and a lot of people knit anyways, but over 1 million views for a knitting YouTube video, insane. And Florence deserves every single one of those. She's absolutely amazing. I love watching her videos. We've got very different senses of style. Like she's got a very controlled palette, whereas I'm a bit more wild with my colors, but I still get so much enjoyment out of watching her knits. She's such an inspiration, and yeah, I think that all of her patterns are amazing. I've knit her step-by-step cardigan, so I'm going to knit the step-by-step sweater. I am planning to do it in Noro Ito. I do believe that's one of the recommended yarns. I don't know. I have got 2 balls of the Noro Ito in color 65. I believe it's 65. It's one of the crazy rainbow colors, and I'm just planning to let that yarn shine in this beautiful basic pattern. The only modifications I'm going to make is to do straight sleeves, because I think I just really like it. I would really like it to be a really flowy, oversized piece. And I'm going to do 2x2 rib, which is also what I did for the step-by-step cardigan. I did 2x2 rib because I just really loved the look of that, and I've seen a lot of people do that on Ravelry as well. Oh, there's a spider crawling around on that chair. Okay. Yeah, so 2x2 rib, I'm going to do straight sleeves, no decreases, and I don't know about the collar, what I'll do. I'm not sure what the collar option is meant to be. I think there's a mock neck option, which I'll probably do because I really enjoy a mock neck. So yeah, I'm really keen for that. I think it'll be super quick and achievable. It's on 5mm needles, if not larger than that. And I think it'll be gorgeous to let the yarn shine. And I think that it'll be a really quick knit. I really want to have this for winter, just a beautiful, stripy, colorful, basic piece that I can just throw on. So this one I want to have done by the end of winter. I'm really keen to cast it on very soon, actually, but you know, I want to finish a few other whips before I just go casting on new sweaters. So as I mentioned earlier, there's over 6,000 projects on Ravelry. So there is endless inspiration for whatever type of knitter you are. If you like plain colors, if you like stripes, if you like variegated yarns, if you like just anything, you can go on there. You can see people have done amazing things with it. There's people that have turned it into t-shirt versions. There's people that have done like patterns on it. It's just such an amazing pattern, and it's free, and it's just, yeah, it is geared towards knitting your first sweater and just, you know, learning how to get a lot of those steps under your in your repertoire rather, but that does not mean that experienced knitters or people who have knit multiple garments can't knit it. And so that is exactly what I'm going to do, is I'm going to knit it and yeah, join the hype, because I am certain that it is deserving, and I've not even knit or downloaded the pattern yet. So that is the second thing on my Make 9. My third thing is the chouquette slipover by, who is it by? I've only written down the pattern names. I've not written down the designers, but I will put it up. I think, no. She's a very popular Japanese knitwear designer, although I do believe this was her first pattern or around there. It's a beautiful slipover pattern that I came across it while it was in testing, and I was obsessed with it. I was checking that page weekly to see the pattern release. It got released, I bought it, and I've not knit it yet. Almost 2 years later, I think, which is crazy. I don't know, I think I got a bit stumped with what yarn to use, because I have the exact yarn and colorway that was used in Stash, but I've fallen out of love with that color a bit. So I've got 4 balls of the Knitting for Olive, that was very strange, Knitting for Olive heavy merino in color liqourice, like the black color. So I think that's what I'll do, although I just really don't want the beautiful textured pattern work to be lost with the black, because it's got really nice double moss stitch and some little the twisted rib details. It's gorgeous. I think it'll look really nice in the black because I knit my Ingrid sweater in black and it's beautiful. Yeah, okay, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna do it in the black, and I think I'm gonna wear it a lot, so I just need to get that on my needles because I've been meaning to knit this for years now. I want it in my wardrobe, I want to wear it into the office. I am very keen to have it, and I think I am someone who likes to wear sweater vests without anything underneath, well, obviously like a bra if I'm going into the office, although that's not my usual. So yeah, I just wear it without a long sleeve underneath or without a shirt, although I could do that very much because there's, you know, I can size up maybe to get a bit more of an oversized look, but I'll see. Sorry, there's a bit of a bird song going on at the moment. You done? Yes, okay. Ooh. Ooh, 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 ooh. Almost dropped that stitch. Okay. Ooh, no, crisis not averted. Just technical difficulties. Okay, so yeah, I'm really keen to cast that one on. I think that I would love to have it for winter, but I think also I'd be able to wear it in the spring. So yeah, I've got 6 months for this one, and well, really 9 months because I just want to have it done by the end of the year. I'm just going to talk over the birds because I think that this is prime hour for them to be doing their musical, and I'm also filming right now, so we can all just harmonize. It'll be beautiful. Next on my list is the bifurca vest, bifurca, not 100% sure, by Teti Lutsak, I believe her name is. She is a Ukrainian designer who produces absolutely gorgeous works. A lot of them are inspired by Ukrainian folklore, and just they're incredibly unique, which I love. This vest, there's also a sweater version which I love, but I was initially drawn to the vest, so that's what I want to do first. It's got this really cool geometric little thing, it's got beautiful flower pattern on it, and it's just such a unique shape that I was enthralled, and I have to knit it. I have to have it in my wardrobe. I've been looking at it for a long time now, and I just need to get it done. I was absolutely enamored with the original colorway, with this rusty red yarn for the contrast color and this white natural color for the base. So I think I'm going to do exactly that. However, I would like it if the red, I would like it if it were a little bit less orange. I feel that I don't gravitate towards oranges as much. I apologize if the camera angle is different. I just knocked the table with my knee and it fell off the very precarious perch currently of sitting on top of the water filter and my glass behind it. I'm filming off my phone, so we have very creative means of filming at the moment. I was saying, I'm going to the Bendigo Sheep and Wool Festival later in the year with my dear friend Emma. We went last year for both of our first times and we were absolutely blown away. We were overwhelmed. It was an incredible experience. So this year we're doing it properly. We're going for a few days. We're going to really take in all of the sites. We're going to go to all of the stalls, and yeah, it'll be amazing. We're incredibly excited, and we are going to make a list of the yarn that we want to purchase and acquire. One of the things on my list is the yarn for this vest, because I'm really wanting a beautiful rustic, preferably undyed base color for that nice white creamy natural color, and then for the rusty red color, that I think will just materialize perfectly at the same time as that one. So I think I'll be able to vibe the yarn. I think it will appear for me, and yeah, I'm just incredibly keen to find it and get knitting on this vest because I think it will be beautiful for springtime. It's another thing that I would wear without anything underneath it, and I'm fine with having wool close to skin. So yeah, I'm wanting to knit it in wool, preferably rustic, just because I think that beautiful undyed will be easier to find in a rustic yarn. And yeah, I'm really keen to have this piece. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Number 5, this is where we're getting into the uncharted territories, is a pair of DK weight socks. I finally found some DK weight sock yarn last year. I ordered it online from a yarn store in New South Wales, I think. It is the Coop Knits Socks Yeah DK in the beautiful purple colour. I think it's called sugilite, which is some type of rock, or mineral. I am sorry, I'm not a geologist, I do not know, but I searched it up and it looked pretty. And so the colour is very pretty. It's like a nice amethyst colour, and I just wanted myself a pair of DK weight socks. I want a nice chunky thick pair of socks to wear in winter. I want to be able to wear it in my boots because I think that we're going to have a really cold winter this year. I say really cold, but the minimum is going to be like 8 degrees, so it's not as cold as anywhere else, as some other places in the world. So I have got a few different patterns in mind. One of them is by Suzanne Muller. It's the basic socken pattern. It's a basic sock pattern. I think it's just in German. I'm not sure. I'll have to investigate. But it's just a combination of rib, I think, and it just looks like a pair of gym socks. But I think it would be beautiful in this nice purple color because it won't be too intricate. There won't be too much going on. So I think it'll really just be a basic socken pattern, which I would be very happy with, obviously. And I think it would be really achievable with, I think I'll knit it on 3mm needles, so I can smash these out. Or the other option is the Ruki winter socks by Yucca. That one, though, I'm a bit hesitant because it's a bit more involved and I just don't want the intricate cables and patterning to get lost with the darker colour, which I fear may be the case. I know that it will be on my feet, so it's not really too important, but as well, I feel like I'm leaning towards the basic socken because I've been in a sock slump. I've got so many half pairs of socks in my, not in my wardrobe, in my whip graveyard. I've got six socks that are awaiting their finished pair. And some of them I've even started the other one and just in frustration ripped out the needles and left it there, gasping for air. It is terrible. I'm going to do a video on my whip graveyard and you guys better watch out. It will be horrifying. So anyways, I need to get out of my sock slump, so I figure what better way to do that than to knit a pair of DK weight socks. And I've got the yarn. So yeah, that's the plan. I've got yarn for everything on this list bar 2 things. So I'm feeling like I'll make a good dent in my yarn stash this year, which is always the plan. So yeah, DK weight socks. Boom, that's number 5. Number 6. Oopla. Oh no. Technical difficulties again. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Number 6 is the other thing that I need to buy yarn for, which is an all-over colorwork sweater. This is something that I will be knitting at the same time as my friend Emma again. We do like we do like 2 or 3 knit-alongs a year. We have very similar taste. We are very, very similar. We love the same crazy colors. We love all the same patterns. We have the same ideas. We want to wear the same thing, go to the same place and do the same thing, like with our own spin on it, obviously, but we've knit so many of the same patterns. That'll be, yeah, that'll be continued this year with quite a few options. But the colorwork sweater, we want to do one of the Olympic sweaters. Everyone and their mum has been knitting them this year and last year and every year probably, because they've been so popular since what, the 80s. I'm obsessed. Florence has knit them. Inga from Knitting Traditions, I feel like she was the first one that brought it to my attention, and we want to do one. We just need to choose the pattern, then we're both going to go and buy the yarn together, perhaps at the Bendigo Wool Festival, or perhaps we'll go to this yarn store in Canterbury. It's called Sunspun. It's absolutely gorgeous, and I think that we need to feel the yarn in person and see the yarn in person to choose out the right colors, because it's just too hard online to choose the right ones, especially because we've not knit, you know, in the recommended yarns before. So it will most likely be one of the Olympic sweaters. Could not tell you which one it will be, but we are choosing it this year, we're doing it this year, and it may not be finished this year, but it will be started and the yarn will be acquired. So that is a big one on the Make 9, because it's just, that's like an ultimate knitting goal, right? An all over colorwork sweater. It'll be incredible. So I would like to be knitting that in winter this year, preferably to have it finished as well, and I think it'll be very addictive because that's what everyone has said, so we shall see. The next 3 things are, I've got all the yarn for, which is already a start, but I'll most likely be knitting them without a pattern. 2 of them definitely, 1 of them maybe. So the one that I'm not sure about is I just want a brown all over cabled cardigan in my wardrobe. So there are so many cabled cardigans online available. Oh my god. Okay, I'm really not making this easier for myself. So many online available, and I have quite a few that I've got my eye on. For example, the book club cardigan by Sari Nordlund. That was so popular last year with the knit along, but I just didn't get into it at the time because I had too many things on, and I'm glad I didn't start it because I would not have finished it. I know that for a fact. So yeah, I'm wanting to do perhaps that this year, or maybe the haraboji cardigan by aegyoknit, which I think is gorgeous. I've seen quite a few versions of it online and I'm obsessed with it. I think one of the lovely ladies from Those Twins Who Knit made it. I think it was Rachel, I'm not sure. But I really am keen to give that a try perhaps, but I think that I've got things about both of those patterns that are putting me off a little bit. About the haraboji cardigan, it's knit cuff to cuff, so you knit that way, and that means that there will be a seam under each arm, and I don't like the seams. I'm not a fan at all, so I think that's putting me off. Also, I remember whichever of the girls from Those Twins Who knit it, they were saying that the cabling was a very big commitment because you have to do it on both sides, and it was, especially in the crisscross part at the top, that it was really time consuming. So I feel like that's putting me off slightly. I love the finished look. I love those like what are they, like houndstooth buttons, saber-tooth buttons. They're really cool look, so I may bite the bullet and get into that, because I get that an all over cabled cardigan, it's going to be a labor of love regardless. It's going to be very time consuming, and with me wanting to make things come out perfectly this year, I wouldn't be opposed to putting in all of that effort. But I don't know, the seams are the main part that's throwing me off. And as for the book club cardigan, I remember during the knit along people were saying that the sleeves pickup was too tight, that they didn't have the right amount of yarn, and that there was like, it didn't match up on the back shoulder seam, which those things are all able to be rectified, and there's enough people that have made the pattern that I could get an accurate yarn estimate. So I don't know, I feel like there's a lot of other beautiful Sari Nordlund cabled cardigan patterns though, like for example the Billy cardigan I would be very much down to knit. So I feel that if I'm not able to find a pattern that is perfect for me, I'll just freestyle it. And it will probably not come out anywhere near as well if I'd have just followed a pattern, but I may just get to the stage where I have a specific vision in my head and bite the bullet. We shall see. But I've got the yarn in stash. I've got the isager aran tweed in colour brown, which I think is gorgeous, and I've also got a sweater or cardigan quantity of the Noro Hanoi in colour, I think it's Linda's Pass, or maybe it's Mackenzie Basin. It's the beautiful deep chocolate brown colour. And the Noro Hanoi, I love that yarn. It is Noro yarn, but it is all undyed colours, because it's made from New Zealand sheep, but they're each from a specific region, so the colours are the region name. So like Linda's Pass, Mackenzie Basin, somewhere else, there's about 7 colours I think, and that's just the colour of the sheep from that region, which I think is gorgeous, right? So all of the sheep in that region are just that colour, and that's like specific flock, I guess. So I love that chocolate brown color, and I love the noro. It's a single ply, so I think there'll be beautiful definition in the cables. I hope that's how that works. I'm not quite sure. So those are the two yarns that I'm tossing up using. I've got a few patterns in mind, I don't know, but just at the end of the year I would like to have an all over cabled brown cardigan. We shall see. Okay, two more things. The next one, I treated myself earlier in the year to a sweater's quantity of Knitting for Olive, heavy merino and soft silk mohair in colour, it's either storm cloud or slate grey or something. It's a dark grey colour, because I've never had the soft silk mohair from Knitting for Olive. It seems very, very luxuriously soft. It looks very fluffy. I've heard that it sheds a lot, but I'm okay with that because I have been dreaming about a fluffy grey sweater to have in my wardrobe for so long. I usually am not a big fan of neutrals. If I'm having like a plain colour, or not a plain colour, if I'm having like a, you know, a basic staple colour like black, white, grey or whatever, I'll choose brown or a dark grey. So I bought myself a sweater quantity of the dark grey, and I want to do a crazy cabled sweater. I want it to be mismatched cables all over the place. I've got a specific vision in my head. I'm going to freestyle it. I know I'm not going to use a pattern for it, and I just want to get this out of my brain because I just want it to be all over cables and just look at different versions of cables as well, and just choose the ones that speak to me the most. And I'll cross my fingers and my toes that it turns out well, but I want to this year put more faith into my own capacity to knit as well without following a pattern, because I've been knitting for a few years now. I know that I can. I just like to rely on patterns because I know it'll turn out beautifully and as the designer intended, but I think that I can put some faith into myself to know that it'll turn out right if I do X, Y, and Z. Which is why that one is my number 8, and number 9 on my make 9 is another freestyled piece, which will be a zipper sweater. I have knit the petiteknit zipper sweater twice, and they were both gift knits. Yes, labours of love. So I need one for myself, but I don't want a plain one. No, I've got a vision in my mind. I want it to be like the 3/4 zip. I want it to be the high neck. I want it to be circular yoke. I want there to be no ribbing. And the cuffs to have no ribbing either. I want there to be like a little piece on the inside that's a different color. I've got a specific vision in my mind, which I'm crossing my fingers that it'll work out, but I have faith in myself. So I'm going to put my little mind towards that this year. I'm going to hopefully have a zipper sweater done by the end of winter, but I'm stacking up winter of knitting. So we shall see. But I have a quantity in my stash that I've been dying to use for it. It is electric blue, so this will be a very obvious knit once it's done. And I've got the Noro Silk Garden Sock Solo Tweed. The name keeps getting longer every time, doesn't it? I knit the Romanesco jumper by Ronti Studio in this yarn, and I've got a lot left over because I bought far too much, and then it was a whole thing. So I've got quite a few balls of that in my stash. I also bought, to accompany it, the Isager Spin Me in colour blue, I think. Oh, the tweed colour is T80. So when the Noro Silk Gardens have the T in front, that means it's part of the tweed range. So I've got the T80, and I'm going to hold those two together because the Noro is a sport weight and it's like single ply. I think it's actually 2 ply, but it's very, very loosely spun, so it's very breakable, just like this. Oh, that was almost in my coffee. And I'm going to hold those two together, and I'm going to just figure it out, I guess. I'm going to hope it turns out well. I'm very keen to have a zipper sweater in my wardrobe, and to be able to get my vision out, because I've got an idea about like some texture that I want on there as well, and I just haven't been able to find a good iteration of my idea. So I hope that I can actually get it out of my brain, because I feel like that being able to get it out, that's the main difficulty, right? That's why all these designers have spent so long getting things perfect, and they've really got that process down pat. So I think I'll be in for a lot of learning this year about how to knit without a pattern, and I am keen for the challenge of knitting these 9 things in 9 months, or at least starting them. And yeah, I've said it now, I've put it all out, I've written it all down. Well, not written it all down because I didn't have half the information. But I've got my book, I've got my plans, and I've got the time. So I will update again, I guess, at the end of the year, and hope that I have crossed off these things from the list. So thank you for joining me to discuss my Make 9. We got a bit of progress done on my, this is the Musselburgh. Did I mention that? I think I did. Musselburgh by Isolde Teague. I've knit so many of these and I will keep doing it. And what do I say now? I don't know. Thanks for joining me. I hope you had a lovely time. I hope that I'll see you again soon. Okay, bye.